Hey everyone, it's Scott here. I wanted to put together a video today that talks about the Russian and Ukraine war as well as Canadian real estate. In particular, some of the stuff I talk about is just based in Guelph. So first off, I want to acknowledge the fact that what's happening over in Russia and Ukraine, I have no comprehension on what that's like to go through that. I've never been that. I've never been part of any form of a military, and it just saddens me to hear and read the news of what these poor people are going through, and I can't even imagine what it's like. So I just wanted to state that, and those are real problems. Us splitting hairs on interest rates, those aren't real problems. Yes, it's frustrating because we're in a very challenging market, but I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that the people in Ukraine and Russia are going through challenges that most of us have never even experienced. So the reason I'm doing this video is because I've had many conversations about this. Like the invasion started in February 24th, so it hasn't been that long yet. It probably feels like an eternity if you were involved, but it hasn't been that long, and we're starting to see some effects. We're starting to see some consumer confidence dipping, but I did want to go into a bit more detail based on our market to kind of lay out what we're seeing here on the ground. So obviously Russia is a major producer of oil. So what will happen here is this will continue to drive up the barrel cost, which will drive up our gas prices. I know everyone here is just shaking their head because we look at our gas prices and it's shocking on where they are now. But this will definitely increase the value of gas just because supply will be down as sanctions are put in place. So not only that is supply chain issues. We've had many supply chain issues since the pandemic started in 2020, and this will continue, which when it comes down, when supplies are affected, just like real estate for that matter, prices tend to go up, which we are obviously seeing the inflation increase, and these are a couple drivers that we will likely see them continue to increase. Now what happens then is this affects household debt load. It affects our expenses. So we actually lose, our buying power starts to dip because our expenses are increasing. So this is another driver of consumer confidence, and people will sit back and kind of wait a little bit just because they want to see what happens, because this likely will be a short-term issue. I'm really hoping between those two countries as well as the rest of the world powers, they can come to a resolution for everybody, for that matter. More importantly, the people of Ukraine and Russia. So now we're putting downward pressure on the housing market because our expenses are higher, our buying power is down. Interest rates are still very, very low, and there's lots of talk of increasing them, but there's still a lag behind that. We're not seeing major increases, and we likely aren't going to see too many big increases over the course of the next year. But they do want to keep the real estate market moving forward. Now, so what we're seeing here, and over, like, if we spoke 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, like the Guelph real estate market was like a 12 out of 10. It was bonkers. It was heavily seller's market. We were seeing 20 offers, 25 offers on a home. Now I say that, but we're still in a very strong seller's market. We are still seeing 5-6 offers hitting a house. Now, not every house is selling. We've now seen some cancellations. We've seen cancellations and then relist, either a price drop, or actually we're seeing some price increases because they were hoping for a bidding war and then they didn't get it. So there is a bit of weird movement here and there within the Guelph real estate market, but all in all, it's still a very strong seller's market. So we are following the exact same trends as this time last year. So oftentimes I will talk about months of inventory. So what that means is if not one more house hits the market, how long is it going to take to have no more houses? So back in December 2020, we had 0.2 of a month, and then into 2021, January was 0.4, February was 0.6, March was 0.7, April was 0.7, and then we started going down again. So that's when prices started to spike even more again, is when the inventory number goes down. So currently, obviously I only have 2 months right now, but January is 0.3 and February is 0.4. Now these are heavily weighted sellers markets. So we're still going to see that supply getting chewed up very, very quickly. And I don't see that really changing. And interest rates still are very, very low. When the interest rates start to creep up, and we can certainly handle a bit of an increase for sure, because the stress test, like I mentioned in another video, that was put in 4 years ago. So the consumer can handle a bit higher interest rates, and they did that for this reason. So they're going to start increasing them, but just slightly. So I don't see our market having a massive growth this year like we saw over the last 18 months to almost 2 years. Like, if you're thinking about buying a house because you want to buy it in spring and sell it in fall, I would caution you, absolutely do not do that. I don't think you're going to see the increases that we've seen in the most recent past. But if you're looking at purchasing a home and holding on to the property, or you're selling your home and you're buying your forever home, this is a fantastic market to buy. Is it stressful? Absolutely. Trying to find your next house is very stressful, but it's very, very possible. And I just want you to know that Guelph has always been very, very stable, and we are continuing to see migration from the GTA. And with the Liberals increasing our immigration numbers, we are going to see another wave of immigrants coming into the Ontario area. The bulk of them end up going to the GTA, but then that would put more pressure on their housing in the GTA, which would then push them to the fringe markets like Guelph. So if you have any questions or you have any comments for me, reach out, let me know. Jess and I and our team actually are happy to help with your in your particular situation, and if there's anything we can do, let us know. Thanks. Bye.